Ooh. Ooh. Are ghosts real? You can't prove that they aren't. So you need this ghost repelling goldfish. Welcome back to Investing with Daren. And in today's episode, I'm here to talk about fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD for short. I define FUD in two ways. The most common way is the misinformation and propaganda used by certain parties to advance their own interests, often causing chaos or confusion. The other way is inside of us, our own literal fears, uncertainty, and doubts, the emotions that we have to face along our journey. Tonight's episode is shot in the heartlands of Singapore. Dealing with FUD can make us feel alone, make us feel like we're in the dark, not being able to see the light of truth, and it could make us believe in ghosts and fear them. Dealing with FUD can paralyze us, making us not take action or worse, take the wrong action. So I think tonight's scene sets the stage very well for our episode. You've heard FUD before. The market's going to crash. Sell now and take your profits before it's too late. Nobody needs this new technology. Cryptocurrency, it's a scam. You don't know what you're doing. Leave it to the experts. FUD is everywhere. And FUD can be hard to spot, especially to the untrained eye, and when we're dealing with topics where we don't have an expertise in. You know those law sitcoms where the characters go, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? FUD can contain slivers of truth, but also omit or emphasize certain truths. Its timing can also be very convenient for certain parties. FUD can come from many sources. It can come from companies or even the media itself at times. Some companies may have a vested interest to protect the status quo. They do not want to be disrupted. So FUD can be an enemy of innovation. Now, when you notice FUD in these sources, we've got to ask ourselves, where's the money coming from? Follow the money, because often that will lead to the final motivations. Asking ourselves, what's their main source of advertising income? Who are their biggest advertisers? Who are their owners? And what agendas may these owners have? Who stands to benefit from a certain angle of these articles? FUD can also come unintentionally from our loved ones, people close to us like our family and friends. They may be sharing articles that are not verified from non-trusted sources, or old articles, information that is out of date. And it takes years for conventional wisdom to catch up to reality, especially in fast-changing industries that are being disrupted, like space, payments, and also automotive. And because these come from sources that we trust, it can raise doubt inside us and plant the seeds of uncertainty. Lastly, FUD can come from our own selves, our fear of failure, our lack of knowledge, I don't know, and also our uncertainty in what to do. I had to deal with a lot of FUD myself, my own internal fears before starting this YouTube channel. So hit the like button to show your support with me in this journey. What should we do with FUD? Should we run away? No. I believe that we should confront the FUD, because doing so sharpens our thinking and helps validate our values, our beliefs, and also our investment theses. Now, I think of dealing with FUD and confronting it like getting our COVID vaccine jabs. Just like how the vaccines introduce a weaker form of the virus for us to build up our immunity, dealing with FUD allows us to build resilience and deepens our conviction. We can deal with FUD by using first principles thinking, seeking out the foundational truth. Elon Musk remarked, physics is the law, everything else is a recommendation. My take here is we should always dig deeper and seek to understand assumptions, clarify. If we get a piece of advice, we read an article, what we should then do is to validate the source and what's the motivations behind this article or this person giving it. And the statements that are in the article, are they true? And if they're true, when do they hold true? Are they true for every situation? When do these assumptions break down? What are the dependencies behind the statements that we see? What else do we need to know to make an informed decision? What are other perspectives we can take on this topic? Speaking with different people, seeking out the truth, seeing things in different angles is really helpful. It's like the analogy where the blind man touched different parts of an elephant, and only by coming together do they realize that it is not 5 different animals or 5 different objects, it is an elephant. So using the collective wisdom is very helpful. Getting different perspectives, listening to trusted advisors, getting others to challenge your viewpoint helps to build up first principles thinking. Here's a fun example of using first principles thinking. What's the hottest time of the day? It is not 12 p.m. The answer is 3 p.m. See, at noon, the sun's at its highest. That's when it has the most strength to continue warming up the earth. So it does so for the next few hours, all the way up to 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., the sun gets closer to the horizon, it loses strength. So that's the inflection point where the heat that is leaving the earth exceeds the heat that is being trapped because of the sun. By just using observation, we may make the common mistake of the sun being all the way at top as the hottest time of day in the earth. First principles thinking allows us to ask the right questions, like, what's the correlation between where the sun is and the temperature in the earth? And how long does the sun need to heat up the earth before reaching maximum temperature? Do we have a thermostat measuring it? And how true is this correlation in an urban environment versus a jungle? Here's an example of using first principles thinking on investing. We often hear, you must diversify, spread out your risks. It is silly to put all your eggs into one basket. We should ask, what are the motivations of the person telling us that? If it's a broker, they may be trying to sell us a product with management fees. You may ultimately decide that diversification is the right strategy for you, but it needs to be done on the right foundation of research and a well-founded understanding of your situation, your beliefs, and what works for you. Nobody knows your unique situation like you do. Nobody cares about your money as much as you do. Nobody's going to live with the consequence of your decisions as much as you will. And when you think about reducing risk, think about the price you pay to reduce risk. If you're reducing the downside, how much is the upside being reduced as well? If, for instance, you make an investment decision where you reduce your downside by 80% and you only reduce the upside by 20%, that could be a worthwhile decision to make. What matters is going in with open eyes, truly understanding the consequences and the opportunity cost of the decision you make. In closing, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, is going to be ever present. And the further away our investment decisions are from conventional wisdom, the more FUD we are likely to experience. Sometimes, even our heroes could be a source of doubt. Here's an interview with Elon Musk from a few years ago.
SpaceX's lack of experience bothers some NASA legends like Apollo astronauts Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan. They've testified to Congress that the Obama administration's drive to commercialize space could compromise safety and eventually cost the taxpayers.
Now is the time to overrule this administration's pledge to mediocrity.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that, because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
So they're hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone.
Back then, most people thought that reusable rockets were a dream. Many of the incumbent players in the space industry didn't want this new entrant to succeed and disrupt them. Through hard work, perseverance, surrounding himself with great people, and of course, some luck, Elon Musk prevailed. And SpaceX now has proven that reusable rockets work. The Falcon 9 rocket has more than 100 successful missions, landing back on a barge on Earth. Today, SpaceX has more than 70% of the world's commercial launch market. We can rise above FUD by having an inquisitive mind, to constantly challenge assumptions, to verify sources, to seek to understand and find the truth. What FUD have you encountered in your investment journey? Please share them in the chat below. Thank you for watching tonight's episode. Please click the like button, hit subscribe, and let me know your ideas for future videos. I read all your comments. Thank you. Now, for those of you who are still here, one more fun question. When's the coldest part of the day? Is it now past midnight when I'm shooting this episode? Is it 5 a.m.? The answer is at 7:30 a.m. as the sun rises. It took me a while to wrap my head around this answer. So at 7:30 a.m., the Earth has the maximum amount of time to cool itself down from the previous day's heat. And when the sun first rises, its rays aren't very strong, and it actually creates evaporation, which is a form of cooling, just like how our bodies lose heat by sweating. I found that using first principles thinking has allowed me to see the world in new light, and I hope it's useful for you too. I'd like to give a shout out to my wife Grace, who helped make this ghost emoji. Ooh! We got our daughter Kara to make one, but then her ghost turned out to be more like an octopus. A for effort. Thank you to my wife for putting up with me as I record all these videos for this YouTube channel. To everyone else, thank you for all your support in this journey so far. It's been 1 week. Sayonara. It's 12:35 a.m. right now. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.